Hello, welcome back to the channel. A few minutes before, welcome to the channel if this is your first time with us. This is Lee Allen Presents. I am your host for this particular video. I'm Alan, and this is my partner in crime and life and generally everything. This is Leanne.
That's me.
And we are here today to bring you our Money in the Bank predictions, the 2024 PLE. And they went PPV then. From WWE, which is up this Saturday on July the 6th, 2024, obviously. From Toronto.
Yay, Saturday events.
Yeah. So anyone who's sort of followed us and knows what we're doing, we did do the AEW event from this past weekend just gone. The Sunday, it was on a Sunday, not a Saturday, and I was talking this with one of my friends in work, and the Saturday ones are just a dream.
Yes.
Sunday ones, not so much.
No.
By the time we got home from work, set up all the streams and got everything loaded with the accounts and whatnot and started watching it. By the time it finished, it was like 11 o'clock at night. There's no way in hell we're recording that because I'll work the next morning. And it's just a bit of a chore, becomes a bit of a ball ache.
Yeah.
And then we've got like the reactions for that came out yesterday. We've got the predictions going up tonight. We've got an unboxing, which is just, going to be recorded at some point later on. And it'll be uploaded tomorrow because I don't want to put two videos out in one night because that's a bit of an overload. So look forward to that one. But it's just like...
It's a lot.
Can we just stop doing back-to-back weekends with pay-per-views and PLEs, please? Because that would be ideal.
I know.
It really would. There's already a lot to catch up on. And
it gets to a point where it's a little bit hard to enjoy because it's so much.
Yeah.
And I love that there is so much. It's great, but for when we're trying to create content based around it, and maybe we've done this to ourselves, but it's a lot, especially with full-time jobs as well.
Yeah.
But,
and I think that
here,
it was nice with All In last year, and then they had All Out the very next weekend, and it was like, oh my god! I think there was a WWE PLE that weekend as well. I think
so.
And that just got way too much. Thankfully, this year they did schedule All In and then All Out because that was going to become a tradition. I think it's Labor Day weekend or something like that in America. I'm not 100% certain on that one, but Tony Khan has pushed it back a week, so it's now All In, weekend off, All Out. But who's to say WWE doesn't just go, yoink, let's get in there, and then they run PPV, PLE, PPV. But if that is the case, we might need to look at this and be like, we need to sacrifice something.
Yeah. And
we might not cover everything because it's a bit much.
Good content to the standard that we want to if we're stressed out about it.
It's a bit much.
We'll think about it as we go. It might be fine.
Anyway, getting back on track. If you have seen one of our videos before, you'll know what's coming and know how we do this. If not, we're going to give you the skinny anyway. So sorry if you have seen some of our stuff before and you know what's coming, but I've got to... Let's cover it. Yeah, it won't take long. So the way this always works is we're going to break down the matches. I break down the matches in terms of predictions because I've been watching it for longest. In terms of the pair of us, I've been watching it since 1996 constantly. Before that, there was a bit of a dipping in, but sort of going back to that sort of era, it wasn't as easy because cable and satellite and things wasn't accessible. It was accessible, but only for the sort of upper tier sort of working classes or the upper class sort of hierarchy of things of social the ladder. So it wasn't really a thing, but like you would get some WCW airing on some terrestrial TV channels now and again, and that was kind of thing. Or if you visited a relative, like I went to London in 1992 to visit some family that were living there at the time, and they had Sky. SummerSlam was there in London, and they were like, if we known, we would have got tickets. And I'm just like, damn it! But then we watched some WCW stuff, and then you could get some tapes in sort of video stores like VHS tapes, much like Uncle Howdy's been passing out, or Sister Abigail, I guess, or the Nikki Cross character. But yeah, so the way this is going to work is we usually do it non-title matches followed by title matches in the order that I'm kind of anticipating them the most. With this one, because it is Money in the Bank, it's a gimmick match. We're going to cover the Money in the Bank matches last, so we're going to do non-title, followed by title, followed by the Money in the Bank matches. And that's basically the rundown of how it's going to go. Going from last weekend's, or the weekend just gone, AEW pay-per-view, which was 15 matches, this is quite literally a third of the content. This is 5 matches and probably 3 hours of filler. Yeah. Let's be perfectly honest. There's going to be a lot of filler because it is WWE. It
always is, yeah. This is what we pay for.
Well, Netflix now. I'm hoping they don't increase the price of Netflix. Like you can get
or something.
You can get TNT Sports with Discovery Plus, but it's like 30 quid a month, and I'm like, no, thank you. Oof. And I'm hoping Netflix don't pull that crap. It'd be ideal if they do. it might be an extra $5, which is still half price of the WWE Network right now, but it has to include the PLEs.
Yes.
If not, I'm out.
We're done. There we go.
I'm not going to pay 20, 30, 40 quid on top of our Netflix subscription, which we already have, to watch the WWE content and then have to shell out more for pay-per-views or PLEs. It's not going to happen.
No.
Absolutely not. So that would probably be the point, really. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's not until January, so we'll see how we go.
They like to make ultimatums for WWE.
We'll see how we go down the line. So, as I said, there's only 5 matches on this one. There's 1 non-title match, there's 2 title matches, and there's 2 Ladder in the Bank matches. Ladder in the Bank? Oh my God. Money in the Bank ladder matches. It's been a long day, all right? It's been a long day. So let's kick straight into it then. We're going to go straight into our first match with non-title match. It's the only non-title match, technically. Because I would kind of see Money in the Bank as a sort of status.
I mean, they get the title of Mr. Money in the Bank.
Last year, Senior Money in the Bank.
Yeah, it's a title, technically.
Yeah, so the only one that doesn't have any stakes to it, shall we say then, is a 6-man tag team match, and it sees Cody Rhodes teaming up with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton to take on the Bloodline.
Yeah.
So the Bloodline, it as it stands right now, it's going to be Solo Sikoa, Tonga Loa, and Tama Tonga.
Yes.
Jacob Fatu, as it stands, is not in this match. And Paul Heyman will not be at ringside.
No.
So going back a few weeks ago, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton obviously got a massive rager for beating down the Bloodline. Understandably, we're not gonna. We tended to give recaps from pay-per-view to pay-per-view. We're not gonna go back and go, well, 3 years ago, Randy Orton did this, and then the Usos did this, and otherwise these videos will end up being like 6-7 hours long just to cover one match. It's not going to happen. And we'll be covering
the same stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So we're not going to do that. So we literally cover it from pay-per-view to pay-per-view or PLE to PLE. This is what we're going to do here. So a few weeks back, Team Cody kind of came in and they cornered the Bloodline, and security kicked them out. They got them out of the building. They turned back up at the end of the event and they beat down Tama Tonga. They beat down Tonga Loa. They had Solo Sikoa in the corner, and it would look like he was kind of like, oh, please have mercy, please have mercy. And then he starts laughing, and it's like, what's he? What? And all of a sudden, someone bum rushes the ring, literally destroys Orton, destroys KO, destroys Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu, the person I thought that had come out from the underneath the ring at was it Backlash? I think it was.
I think so.
Ended up being Tonga Loa. That was like, oh my God, what do they call him? The something werewolf. I think Soul's referred to him as. I can't remember what the title was now. But yeah, he's vicious. You can see why he's going to be a really good fit for this new sort of evolution of the Bloodline.
Yep.
Along with, and I'm still going to call them the Gorillas of Destiny. I'm still going to call them God, Gorillas of Destiny, because that's where I know them from the most.
Yep.
Then last week on SmackDown, there was a was like an induction kind of ceremony. I can't remember the exact wording for it.
Induction ceremony.
Yeah, or acceptance ceremony, something like that. For Jacob Fatu into the Bloodline, and obviously Tama Tonga Loa, Jacob Fatu and Solo all had the things up. Paul Heyman's there, and he's like, right, you need to crown me with this the lei that Roman Reigns will wear. And he's like, where did you get this? And Solo's like, you need to put it on me. I am the new head of the table. You will show me that respect. I am the head of the table. I'm your tribal chief. And Paul Heyman's like, no, I can't do it. And then they attacked him. They power bombed him through a table.
Yeah.
Heyman is out of the Bloodline.
Yeah.
He is no longer the wise man, it seems. Now, I was talking with my friend at work earlier that there is potentially there is rumors going around that there's going to be someone coming in as the new wise man for this new incarnation of the Bloodline. I don't know who it could be. The rumors was Armando, I think his name was. Going back from a few years ago, you won't know him. There's many years ago, actually, thinking about it. But I don't know if that's a wise thing for them to do. I don't know if they need a wise man in this sort of incarnation of the Bloodline. This Bloodline feels more like a bulldozer as opposed to a scalpel.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just we're going to surgically insert ourselves into this. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. This is just literally going, there's us, there's you, there's the Bloodline, let's go. You know, and that kind of, that's what they're aiming for with this, I think, with the God and with Jacob Fatu and obviously Solo. Solo's nothing to sniff at, obviously, and rumor has it he's going to be facing Cody for that championship at SummerSlam. But we'll wait and see. We're getting a bit ahead of ourselves on that one. So I mean, that's pretty much everything that's come up to it. It's just still a sort of an ongoing feud. I really want this to be put to bed now because I am kind of getting a bit bored of seeing KO and Orton and Cody constantly going up against the Bloodline. It's been a year and a half, if not longer.
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, Roman Reigns obviously was the champion at that point, and Kevin Owens fought him at Royal Rumble a couple of years back, and it's even been brewing longer than that. And it's just like, oh my God, can they not find anything better for KO? Can they not find anything better for Randy Orton? Cody Rhodes is the champion. Why is he not defending his title at this pay-per-view? Sorry, PLE.
Good point. Mm-hmm.
And that does frustrate me, and it's like, really? And we didn't cover Clash of the Castle, but he did defend it against AJ Styles. But even that felt lackluster. That was a last man standing match, or I quit match, match, wasn't it?
Yes.
It just felt quite lackluster.
Yeah,
in comparison to their Backlash match, I much preferred the Backlash match. But it just feels that Cody's like, I want to be a working champion. I want to be a defending champion. I want to be a champion who shows up all the time. And yes, it's all well good and showing up all the time, but you need to be putting on the shows as well. You can't go, I'm going to be a workhorse champion and then not defend it.
Yeah.
And that kind of irks me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I still will die on this hill. Every 30 days, a title should be defended. It's an old school rule. I love that rule. It should be still instated today, and it's not. And it really bugs me.
It really forces situations.
Yeah, and
you wouldn't get otherwise.
It really does upset me that that's not a thing anymore. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on this one?
I find it interesting that it's the face team doing that ambushing a little bit.
Yeah, they're kind of trying to turn the tables. Yeah.
Yeah, it sort of both feels unnatural, but also a little bit.
I'm going to say it. It's guerrilla tactics.
But like you say, I mean, it's a different iteration of the Bloodline, but it's still the same story, really.
It is.
I'm interested to see what Paul Heyman does next. He's a treasure.
I have thoughts.
Must protect Paul Heyman at all costs. Yeah, it could be a good match.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. The Bloodline as they are different. More brutal.
I am enjoying this, and it could be because I'm a fan of God from New Japan, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. It could be from that. I don't know, but it does seem they're a lot more vicious.
Yes.
Whereas Roman seemed to be a lot more talk. These guys are more like punch.
Yeah, it's like acknowledge me, and they're like, no, we're going to punch you in the face.
Yeah, we're going to punch you in the face, and then you're going to be forced to acknowledge us. Yeah. Okay, in that sort of vein, then, if that's all we got, who do you have winning this match? For anyone who's not tuned in before, the reason that Leanne goes first is because she's highly suggestible. If I say XYZ is going to win, she's probably going to be like, yeah, let's go with that.
I know he's right about a lot of things, so
I always give Leanne the chance to answer first, and then I will give my opinions, because I've already formed my opinions of who's winning. So, Leanne, who have you got winning this one?
I'm going Bloodline.
Bloodline?
I think Fatu's only just turned up. So having them lose at this stage doesn't make sense in my head.
Yeah.
I think he will quite likely get involved in some way.
Yeah. I mean, it's sound logic, but Jacob Fatu isn't in this match, so he wouldn't necessarily take a loss. But I kind of see where you're going with that.
It's he's sort of added to the Bloodline, so the Bloodline's grown a bit, so it feels illogical to have them lose when they've just added to their strength, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. The werewolf, as they call him.
Yeah.
I'm also going Bloodline.
Whoop, whoop.
I do think they're going to win this, especially if Solo is going to face Cody Rhodes. He needs to get a win.
Yeah.
Whether or not it'll be Solo pinning Cody or one of the others pinning one of the other team, it doesn't matter, because a win over a team with a champ on still has that stroke.
Yes. And
it does. It absolutely does. So I do feel that is the right thing. In terms of going down the line with Paul Heyman on that, I get the feeling it could be at Survivor Series, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a bit too soon for SummerSlam, and obviously if Solo is facing Cody, you can't do it at SummerSlam. No. We'll have War Games. We'll have this iteration of the Bloodline. Possibly with Hikuleo in the mix at that point, because it's 5 versus 5, so I get the feeling, because Hikuleo's contract apparently has finished up in New Japan. Anyone who watched Forbidden Door, El Phantasmo usually does the whole heart thing. He was doing this on his entrances as he's brokenhearted, because he's pretty much the last remaining member of God, Girls of Destiny. Well, Jado's still there, but I'm not entirely certain. I'm a bit behind with New Japan at the moment, so I need to catch up with that. But Hikuleo is the younger brother of Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. So there is speculation he will end up in WWE, and he's like 6'10". He's freaking huge, and again, he's quite young. He's an absolute specimen. So you could end up having him there.
Yeah.
On the opposite side, you could have the returning Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
The returning Usos.
Together again.
Maybe, I suppose you could chuck Sami Zayn into it, because he's had that sort of history with them. But Paul Heyman is like, I'm going to call in a favor. Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be like, oh my God. And I kind of feel that you'd have to have Roman Reigns going to Brock, look, I know we've had our differences in the past, but I respect what you've done. You're an absolute beast. You push me to my limit, and I respect you. I acknowledge you, Brock Lesnar. Ooh. And then he's like, please help me take down this abomination of a bloodline. And that's kind of where, and I'm getting chills just thinking, you can see that I got chills on my arms. And that's the kind of way I kind of see that going potentially down the line. If it's not Brock because of the lawsuit thing, they will find someone else to fill that void. Yeah. But I don't think it'll be as impactful. It definitely cannot be Pepsi Phil because that guy just needs to bugger off somewhere else. But yeah, anyway. Nice little segue actually into our next match. So the next match is for the Intercontinental Championship, and it sees Sami Zayn defending against the absolute powerhouse that is Bron Breakker. Oh, Bron Breakker, where to start? He can run really quick.
Yeah.
He spears people quite literally in half. Oh, yeah. Like, that's probably the best spear I've seen. Like, I've seen Bron Breakker quite a few times in the past, obviously, with NXT and bits with dipping in back and forth and whatnot. And his spears just look like they are so vicious. I love it, you know. Roman Reigns, wow, there, spear. And it's like, all right, yeah. Even Edge's spears, they're good. But Bron puts that speed into it, and it's just like wham,
like a freight train.
Yeah, and so Bron Breakker is kind of I keep going to try and stumble on and call him Braun Strowman, but it's not Braun Strowman, it's Bron Breakker. He's kind of being tired of being overlooked. He wasn't put in the King of the Ring tournament, which really upset him. He starts bulldozing people. He's destroyed Ricochet. To the fact that Ricochet has not renewed his contract. That's Kate. That's not Kate. So Ricochet has let his contract lapse with WWE. He is no longer employed by WWE as of the 1st of July. Bron Breakker was the last person to absolutely wreck him, just bulldozing through a car windscreen. It was great. So he also took out Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah.
He did a sprint around the ring, slammed him with a spear.
But with no weird train noises.
No, but I have seen quite a funky Sonic the Hedgehog with the rings. And as Bron's running around, it's like ding, 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 ding. Which is quite funny. Or was it, I think it was Ludwig actually running the other way. And as Bron hits him, the rings fly out like you see in Sonic. That's what it was. Sorry, I got something in my throat. And obviously Sami Zayn, he's beaten Chad Gable numerous times now to defend that Intercontinental Championship. And Bron Breakker was sort of, I want a match. I think, I can't even remember the exact exchange. If it was, I want Sami Zayn, or he just turned around and said, I want you, I want that belt. And Sami's like, all right, yeah, go for it. And Adam Pearce happened to be there, and he was like, it's official. And that's literally how that match came together, which is quite nice. And I kind of like that because they're having a face-off. They're not punching each other. It's just like an intense stare-off, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And it's quite different, which I quite like the intensity of that. And then this past week on Raw, Sami's in the ring. Out comes Bron Breakker, literally spears him in half, knocks him to the outside of the ring. He goes to spear him. Sami does this. To be fair to Sami, that was an incredible leapfrog straight over Bron. Slams in the steps. He starts getting a bit of offense in, puts him in the ring, and Bron turns it around and again cuts him in half with the spear. And it's like, oh my God, like anyone's seen that stuff before. I'm not the biggest Sami fan. I respect his work. I think he is a good athlete. I just don't think he was the one to beat Gunther for that title, to break that streak of 666 days. Excuse me, I don't think that was the right call. If anyone, it should have been Bron Breakker.
Yeah.
Because that would have been impactful. Sami Zayn doing it, for me, just kind of went, fizzle, yay, fizzle. You know, that there was no fanfare for me. I didn't enjoy that. I did not like that. And I've been we mentioned that in a reaction to WrestleMania. That's the cat coming home. But I mean, I respect everything he does in the ring. He can certainly make people shine. Like the matches him and Gable have been really good. You know, and it's just, I'm not saying anything with Sami Zayn. He's not a big fan of him.
Yeah.
I preferred his paranoid kind of I'm making a documentary gimmick. By the way, we're still waiting for that documentary, Sami. But yeah, I'm on Bron Breakker. Obviously, he's coming up, and it's a shame that, in a sense, that they didn't capitalize on the team. I think it was the Alpha Dogs or the Wolf Dogs from NXT with Baron Corbin. Hello. Because Baron Corbin is another star who I think if they did him right, could absolutely blow the lid off of a lot of things. Because he was absolutely phenomenal. When you go back and watch his first NXT stuff, and he hits the ring and the bell rings and the crowd goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're counting up because Corbin would destroy people in like 30 seconds or less. Yeah. And that was the gimmick. And then what they did to Corbin was disgusting. It was horrific.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that they might end up doing this with Bron Breakker, and I really don't want to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, I think they're quite high on him at the moment, so we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on this one?
Mainly that Sami Zayn is a chronic underdog and always seems to be in those stories where he's going against the bigger guys like Gunther and like Bron Breakker and always seems to come out on top.
Yeah.
Because he's got positive attitude and the crowd with him.
Yeah. And I've got nothing against an underdog story, but my God, they do it too much.
Used sparingly.
Yeah, they do it way too much.
Believable.
Yeah.
But I do think this is the way they're going with this as well. Because why would they put them in a title picture on a pay-per-view if they're not? It's not an even match.
No.
Sammy's good, but it's not like some wrestlers who are so good that even though they're small, you know that they could take a bigger guy.
Oh yeah.
It's not quite what this feels like. It does feel like it's the underdog story.
Yeah,
and
it is.
It's going to be by some like Bron Breakker messes up or something that makes it happen.
So you're going Sami?
I think Sami to
you're
win
Sami Zayn.
and retain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, this is hello. That's me not making any more notes apparently.
Nope.
I'm just gonna move my drink there in case he kicks out my phone out the way. Hi Rex, disrupting another video. This is a tricky one for me, and I think I'm gonna go for what I want.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pick Bron Breakker.
Cool.
To win the title.
Yeah.
I can't even make a note because he's moved off my hand. It's fine. It's fine.
We'll have to add it later.
Yeah, it's fine. Just remember it. It's fine. And that's what I want to see happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Sami needs that title.
No.
All the matches he's had with Gable could have been done without that title being in the picture, and they still would have been absolute bangers of matches.
Mm-hmm.
And it still would have furthered the storyline with the Alpha Academy and everything that's going on with Gable and the White Six, which we'll potentially cover in a little bit anyway, because Gable is on this card.
Yes.
But I really hope that Bron Breakker takes this title off him. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side of that, so because SmackDown is yet to air, we do have that show obviously to watch on Saturday morning once it's aired Friday night. If we do change any of our opinions or anything new comes out of SmackDown on Friday night, we will update the link, the description in this video down below to reflect anything that's new, that's added, that's changed, or any of our predictions changed. We'll update them in the link down below.
Yep.
So moving on to the final of our title matches, the two title matches, we have defending his World Heavyweight Championship, Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins. Mm-hmm. I got fur all over my face. Thanks, Alex. He's molting. He won't let us brush him. It's really annoying. So Seth Rollins returns after his injury. We haven't seen him since WrestleMania when he dropped the title to Drew McIntyre, who then got cashed in on by Priest. Yeah. Obviously, Priest has been the champion since that night that Seth Rollins lost the title. He returns, and Damian Priest comes out, and Seth's like, you know what? I want a title match. And Priest is like, yeah, all right. And it's like, really? And I liken this to Mercedes Moné turning up in AEW and going, whoever wins between Willow and Julia Hart at Double or Nothing, I get next because I'm Mercedes Moné, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it wasn't Double or Nothing, it was Dynasty, sorry. I get them at Double or Nothing, blah, blah, blah. And I liken it to that. And it's like, you've come back, you've had 0 matches. He still hasn't had any matches since his return.
Nope.
And it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What makes you worthy of the title? And someone out there will go, he's a multi-time world champ. He never had a rematch. Is rematch clause thing even a thing anymore?
It goes back and forth. I don't know.
Did Judgment Day get a tag team title rematch after WrestleMania when R-Truth and
it's not a thing until they decide it's a thing for a minute, and then someone goes, "I want my rematch," and they go like, "Well, we better do it."
Yeah.
But then for the rest of the time, it's back to not existing anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, all right, great, whatever. So there's been a little back and forth. Obviously, you know, Damian Priest said he respects Seth Rollins, but he's the champion now, and Seth needs to respect him.
Yeah.
And I think it was this last Monday on Raw. It might have been last week. It's a bit of a blur with everything that's been going on. Yeah. Seth comes out, Damian Priest comes out, and they start bantering, and Seth's like, you know what? How about this? If I lose the match at Money in the Bank, I can never face you for that champion. I can never challenge for that title as long as you hold it again. But if I win, you have to leave the Judgment Day. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wait, what? And you could kind of see Priest was like, But then he's like, yeah, they need me more than I need them anyway. Yeah. And it's just causing that friction in the Judgment Day. And I don't want that because I love the Judgment Day.
It's so good.
Apart from Carlito, I don't know what the hell's going on with Carlito. Why is Carlito there now? I don't. That's irksome. Like when JD was there, it was fun because he was trying to earn his way in. Carlito's almost just kind of walked in, and because of Dominic, he's like, yeah, come on in.
Yeah, they're not even referencing it.
And it's just like, really? I mean, that's pretty much it. There's been no other altercations. There's been no physical interaction. I'm wondering if Seth isn't technically cleared just yet. Maybe he's not cleared until the end, sort of later half of this week, and that's why there hasn't been any physical altercation. We won't see anything on SmackDown, obviously, because it's a Raw title. But yeah, I mean, that's all I've got on that one, unless you got anything else?
Yeah, I mean, there might be lending into it some of the stuff that is happening with Judgment Day. So I know Finn Balor and Damian Priest had words. It's partly because Liv Morgan's gone and inserted herself into everything, and Finn seems to be having a great time. And is. Do
you know who else is having a great time with that? Dominic.
So there's that, but also then Finn saying, "Well, you said we need you more than you need us." I don't agree with that. And Damian's like, "Yeah, but it's true though." The championship, So
and then Finn was like, "Since you've won that title, you changed."
Which probably. But then Damian did also say, now that you've got those tag champs, it's in the same position that like the group needs you more than you need them because you've got those titles. So we did kind of justify it.
Yeah.
But there is that friction, and it might do something with this match, but it might not.
I get the feeling it's going to be more of a long burn. I think this is going to burn a bit longer.
I agree. I think that if they blow the thing up now, it's a waste.
It's obviously going to depend on the winner of this match, and we'll get to that in a minute. But if Priest retains and he stays in the Judgment Day, this is definitely going to be the cracks in the foundation going down the line.
Yeah.
And that's, as long as it's kind of slow cracks, you can see it building, I'm okay with that. If they just go, well, Priest is out, Judgment Day's over, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, no.
All that work they've done for the last few years, especially when Edge coming in and then Priest and then Rhea and then Balor and everything, and sort of bringing them in and then kicking him out.
Yeah.
It's been fantastic, and I've loved it every single minute of the Judgment Day. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I'm predicting Damian to win and retain. If Damian was to leave, I think it needs to wait until after Rhea comes back.
Yeah.
Because one of them needs to be leading.
Yes.
I think Finn could maybe do it, but it would be a very different Judgment Day if Finn...
The other option would be to have Liv Morgan lead. And imagine that.
Another very different Judgment Day.
Because, I mean, Finn did take that room card.
He did.
I'm also going Damian Priest. I feel that they've done this match, as much as I don't like it, because Seth just walked in the door and he's like, I want a title match. I do feel that this is a way to put a stamp on Priest and go, he can beat Seth Rollins.
It cements him as a legitimate champion.
He's a legit champion. Sure. He's got a title reign. He's beating some big names. He's nothing to scoff at. Because they haven't, as much as I like Priest as champion, they haven't really done much with him. And it's really upsetting me. Because I really like Damian Priest.
He's so good.
He is.
Yeah.
So I absolutely agree that Damian Priest is winning this. And Seth will get a break from the title, which will be great. And we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so the next match we're going to talk about then is the first of our 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, and we're going to start off with the women's match. So we have Io Sky versus Lyra Valkyria versus Tiffany Straton versus Naomi versus Zoey Starks versus Chelsea Green. Do you want to give us your best impression of the ring announcer doing Chelsea Green?
Chelsea Green!
There we go.
All right.
It was all right, yeah. I mean, I'm glad you didn't tap out the mic and sort of just belt it out. So
I
I'm
felt
kind of
very sarcastic.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. I think that's the kind of way that she. For the life of me, I can't remember the ring announcer's name. Ricochet's partner, Samantha Irvine. That's right. Yeah, and when she does it, it's fantastic. Yeah, she's brilliant. We're not going to go into the nitty gritty of Io Sky beat these two people, Lyra beat these, because we'll be here
qualified.
They qualified. Every person in this match qualified for the match.
That's good.
If you had to pick one name to not be in this match, was a throwaway pick for this match, who would it be?
Say the names again.
Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, Zoey Starks, and Chelsea Green.
Tiffany.
Nope, Naomi. In my mind, Naomi is the absolute bomb of this match.
As soon as you said Naomi, I think it left my head, because when you then said Naomi, I was like, wait, she's in it?
The thing is, right, Io Sky won it last year. Lyra Valkyria is on a bit of a rise. Tiffany Stratton's on a mega rise, because everyone loves Tiffany. Zoey Starks needs that. I think she needs this ladder match to kind of boost her up a little bit. And Chelsea Green, it's fun. It's a fun thing that she's doing. But I feel that she also needs to go and put on a show and be like, look, I might be a bit of a comedy thing, but I can also go. Yeah. Naomi.
What's she done for us lately?
And like, I think if I'm right, that was the match that had Jade Cargill in it. I think, and I feel that Jade Cargill in this position would have been better to cause the rift between her and Bianca Belair, who failed to qualify. Mm-hmm. I will die on that hill.
Yeah.
And then we would have led into face Jade versus heel Bianca, and that would have been a better option.
That sounds really exciting.
And what we got instead? Naomi in the ladder match. God's sake.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we're standing at the moment. I mean, there's not been much else, but apart from obviously the qualifying matches per se.
No.
So
there's not much going on.
Io Sky obviously won last year, so she's got to be a sort of an odds-on favourite somewhere in there. Naomi, I believe, has been in Money in the Bank ladder matches. I don't think any of the other competitors have.
No. Lyra Valkyria, I'm excited to see in this.
Yes.
Thinks a good time to shine.
Yeah.
And the same with
Tiffany?
Name? No.
Zoey Starks, yeah. He's obviously teaming with Shayna Baszler at the moment, which is good. I kind of feel it's like it's a team up. They're friends, but I feel it's a bit kind of like mentor and mentee almost.
Yes, I
which is great because Shayna needs another push as well because she's brilliant.
Yeah.
When she's come out on the main roster, they've just kind of floundered her. It's like, for God's sake,
annoying.
Just go and watch the NXT stuff. And she's an absolute beast. She's like Bron Breakker, but female.
Yeah, but with those three I mentioned, Lyra, Io, and Zoey, you've got three very different styles. But all that fit really well in this ladder match, kind of. I
mean, you think about it, every one of these has a different style.
Yes.
Tiffany's got that gymnastics background.
Yeah.
And she's going to be great in this.
Chelsea's
Naomi,
a bit slapstick.
Whilst I don't particularly care for Naomi, she has got some good repertoire as long as she's not fudging it on the night.
Yeah.
Like we saw in the last couple of matches she's had. And Chelsea Green.
Fudging it when you got ladders.
Yeah. And Chelsea Green, she's got Piper Niven.
Yeah.
And that's not to take away from Chelsea Green. There's going to be Chelsea Green fans out there who absolutely hate me for that. But it is the gimmick, and there's no doubt that she can go. But
can you imagine having Piper Niven just like put Chelsea on her shoulders and just like walk into the ring and lift her up the ladder?
Yeah.
It's not in the match,
yeah.
But
that'd be hilarious. I mean, it's technically not illegal.
Nope.
The rules state the first person to take the briefcase off of the hook and have possession of it.
Just get a little boost.
Doesn't say how you do it.
They've done similar.
I want to see someone drive a cherry picker to a ring.
Yeah.
And just that'd be great.
It would.
It'd be hilarious. Yeah.
This could be a fun match.
I think it definitely will be a fun match.
There's so much that could go wrong.
I get the feeling this will be the first match of the night because they always seem to do that.
Sandwich it. It is the only women's match that we know of.
Especially with Royal Rumble as well, because they do the Royal Rumble, so with the women's and then the men's.
Yeah. I have no idea who's going to get it.
Well, you've got to pick now, so who have you got?
I haven't really got much to go on, I don't think.
That's kind of a good thing, though, because there's a lot of new people in this.
I think with what we've said about Piper Niven possibly being involved, I'm going to go Chelsea.
You're going Chelsea, okay.
Wouldn't that be fun?
It would be fun.
I think that would be quite fun.
It'll be almost like the opposite of what every time Damian Priest would try and cash in after winning last year, he would get knocked out or attacked or whatever, and something would stop him. With this, it would be Chelsea Green probably wrecking her own chances somehow. Like she'll run to the ring and she'll trip over and knock herself out or something. It'll be something daft. And it'll be something stupid like that, but that would be so entertaining.
It could be really fun. So let's go Chelsea.
Yeah. I'm going for Tiffany Straton.
Okay.
I've got nothing to base that on right now, but I just feel like she's probably the go-to. I don't think they're going to give it to Io for the second year in a row. Lyra can stand on her own, but I just don't see that right now. They're not going to give it to Naomi, and I don't feel the Zoey Stark. They kind of seem to be just putting it in this tag team scene right now, so I don't think it's going to be Zoey. That probably cause frictions if she had it between her and Shayna. I don't really want to see that. Fair. So I think Tiffany is obviously, she's probably the biggest heel in this match, even though everyone loves her.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much all I got on that one, to be honest.
Sweet.
So Tiffany Stratton I got, and you got Chelsea. Obviously, if anything does happen on SmackDown, because Tiffany and Chelsea are SmackDown stars, if something does happen, we will update the description down below. So then we move on to our last match number 5 of the night, which is the men's ladder match, the Money in the Bank ladder match. We have LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre versus Carmelo Hayes versus Chad Gable versus main event Jey Uso versus Andrade El Idolo. Or Andrade. I'm not entirely sure what they're calling him these days because they keep flipping it back and forth. And it's really annoying.
I think both.
Like, the nameplate says Andrade, on his entrance thing it says El Idolo, and it's like, oh, for God's sake, make your mind up, please.
It's like Andrade's the name, El Idolo is sort of like the moniker.
I think it's like the idol or something, or
so.
something to that effect, or the legend.
So both is fine.
Yeah, but they just need to come to an agreement of what the hell they're calling him. You know, it's just really annoying. Again, every one of these qualified. I'm surprised that LA Knight qualified. Obviously, he had a match with Logan Paul and Santos Escobar. I was adamant that Santos Escobar was winning that because Logan Paul and LA Knight would just been too focused on beating the hell out of each other. Surprisingly, LA Knight won. Yeah. Which is like, okay, cool. Awesome. The one person I don't want to see in this match, I think Carmelo Hayes.
Yes.
Like, don't get me wrong, much like Naomi, he's got ability, but he hasn't really wowed me since he's come to the main roster.
Yeah.
It's like I can't, was it HIM? My thing is HIM, blah, blah, and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, well, you need to actually do something to prove yourself. And I think he's lost every single match apart from the qualifying match.
There's nothing much that's sticking out in my mind about Carmelo Hayes.
Do you know the one thing
apart from him being annoying backstage?
Do you know the one thing that sticks out in my mind? When he came up during the draft, challenged Cody Rhodes and completely fudged his spot. And potentially nearly injured Cody Rhodes. Yeah, great, awesome, nice one, pal.
Didn't he tell LA Knight that he was going to be facing LA Knight or something? He messed some name up in a backstage.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, when you face LA Knight next week, and he's talking to LA Knight, and it's like,
that's me.
Come
on, dude.
Tell me you're not a professional without telling me you're not a professional, right? Yeah, and it's like, you know, he is quite new to the mainstream. Obviously, he's been in NXT for a little bit. I have no doubt that he's got talent, but I think he's got a long way to go yet.
Yeah. Agreed.
A long way to go.
Maybe this will be his time to show us what he's got.
Yeah, maybe.
Hopefully not.
I am kind of hoping, in terms of this, for some shenanigans.
Yes.
With Chad Gable. So, what are we? Not 2 weeks ago on Raw. So, like, what's that? 15, 16 days ago, whatever it is. The Wyatt Six finally made their debut. They wrecked backstage in gorilla position. And Chad Gable was one of the people on their hit list. Like, he was there and he had blood all over his face and he was like out of it. Wow. And then obviously they come out and they do the whole "we're here" and they blow the lantern out. Very, very Bray Wyatt, which is fantastic. Give me chills. I'm thinking about it now. I'm just getting chills just thinking about it. And it looked amazing. Then Chad kind of came out the next week and he had the qualifying match where he beat Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman in a triple threat. And it's like, what the hell? And then last night, what day were we? 2 nights ago on Raw, I think what day it was then. 2 nights ago on Raw, he's in the ring facing off with Jey Uso, and they have a bit of a scuffle as he jumps out the ring to sort of slink away a little bit. The lights go out, the fog comes in, he tries running through the crowd. I think the first person he comes across was Huskus, the pig, Joe Gacy.
All silhouetted and smoky.
The next one he came across, I believe, was Ramblin' Rabbit, who is Eric Rowan. And I couldn't make up the third one, but I think it was Dexter Lumis. It didn't look like Uncle Howdy to me. I think it was Dexter Lumis.
I think so.
As Mercy the Buzzard. And then obviously he scarpers up the thing, and then all of a sudden Nikki Cross's character, Sister Abigail, or whatever the embodiment of it is, the witch, is there, and she hands another video, a VHS cassette tape to Michael Cole, and Michael Cole's just like, Corey Graves is there, and he's like, he's like, this is so good. But the one thing that like Adam Pearce has got all this extra security, and somehow the security are laying over the commentary desk, and it's like,
when did that happen? It must happen when the lights were completely out.
1,
right?
When did it happen? 2, how did it happen? 3, who did it? Because if you've got Gacy, Loomis, and Rowan on the other side of the arena, the only other person could be Nikki Cross or Uncle Howdy. So yeah, I'm loving this. But I really want some sort of shenanigans with this. Pipe in the smoke, turn the lights off.
Stupid not to. What an opportunity for them to
even if it's
really
like
showcase.
Everything goes off, everyone just comes to a standstill in the ring, and Chad Gable's like, oh, not again, and he legs out of the ring, and therefore kind of eliminates himself technically out of this match because he's just terrified of what's going on.
Maybe pulling through the ring, he goes to the Firefly Funhouse.
Dangerous because there's ladders though.
Yeah.
So that's dangerous. But I guess you could pull him under the ring.
Yeah.
But there's I'm sure they've got to have something lined up for this, and then obviously you could have the combination on Raw and what's going on with that. Because after the video that we saw with Bo Dallas becoming or I can't remember his actual name. Oh God, his real name escapes me. But Bo Dallas kind of becoming the way they flicked the image, and it's like he's becoming Uncle Howdy.
So well done.
It was incredible.
It was really cool.
The editing on these videos has been on point. But yeah, I think that's going to be a thing, and I do get the feeling that Logan Paul is going to interfere in this match.
Probably.
And I'm probably eliminating people, and it's probably going to... I don't know what your prediction is going to be for this one, but it's probably going to eliminate LA Knight as well, because I get the feeling they're going to do LA Knight versus Logan Paul at SummerSlam for the United States title. And it's about time that LA Knight just completely beats down Logan Paul and rips that title from his grubby little hands.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Little scumbag. Go drink your prime somewhere else, yeah. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, have you got anything else?
Don't think so. I'm looking forward to it.
Who have you got?
Love some Money in the Bank match. Can you read the names out for me?
Yeah, so LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, Jey Uso, and Andrade.
It's tricky. If Drew got it...
No, Trick Williams isn't in this.
If Drew got it, I think it would be a bit weird because he had it cashed in on him recently. Jey would be interesting, leading potentially into the sort of War Games kind of thing. Might give him something to do. I honestly don't know.
It might give him something to do.
Sorry. Main event Jey Uso, right? Carmelo, I hope not. Andrade might be interesting as well. I don't know. I'm going to go with Andrade.
You're going with Andrade?
I don't know why.
That's a wild card.
I don't know why. Okay. It might be cool. Okay. It might be fun.
I love playing this game.
It's the thing of, like, if Wyatt Six get involved, whatever they do, it just throws everything into chaos, everything in the air, whatever happens. So, I don't know. Anything can happen.
This is the game I love to play. Who am I going for?
I have no idea.
I'm going for the Mad Scotsman. I reckon Drew's going to get it, right? He's going to cash in at some point. Whether or not... I get the feeling this won't be before the title match. I think this will be the last match of the night.
Yeah.
Gunther will face, in our predictions, Damian Priest at SummerSlam. Drew will cash in.
And
Punk will come out, screw him out of that match, because Punk probably isn't going to be cleared by SummerSlam.
No.
And then that's how we lead into the Punk versus Drew match, the final sort of blow. So I think that CM Punk will screw Drew one more time. Drew will absolutely lose his mind, and he'll be even one more of an even bigger rager to destroy Punk. That's the way I see it going down. So LA Knight will get screwed by Paul, setting up a SummerSlam match. Drew will get screwed over by Punk, doing a cash-in attempt. Gable will get... Is it screwed over?
I don't know.
Let's call it punishment, yeah, because the way he's treating his family, the way that they talked about the family and the way he treats the people treat family, that's obviously leading into White Six. So yeah, I that's the way I see that going down.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the card. Have you got anything else about this event, or?
What are the women's matches?
Yeah, there's only one.
I know we complain about them because they don't always go right, but the only women's match is the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, it feels a bit weird not having Liv or Bailey defend. I had to think of the women's champion SmackDown.
Even something on the pre-show. I don't know.
I mean, there is still SmackDown. There is still SmackDown, so there might be scope for it, but we'll have to wait and see.
They're missing an opportunity if there's only one women's match and it's a Money in the Bank match. In
terms of then, this is quite a tricky one actually. What's your least looking forward to match of the card? This is quite a tricky one actually.
Yeah, I mean they all look pretty fun. I think no. It's really hard. I think I'm gonna go Sami versus Bron
Breaker.
Mm-hmm. It's that underdog.
Yeah, they're kind of doing it to death.
Yeah. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
It could be a really good match.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, and it's unfortunate because Bron Breakker needs. I say he doesn't need it. He deserves the spotlight, and he deserves to win this. So if he doesn't, I'm going to be fuming. But yeah, I feel this underdog thing needs to just go somewhere else now. If you're in the business as long as Sami is, you're not an underdog anymore, right? You know. Most anticipated match.
Men's ladder match.
For all the shenanigans, yeah. I have to agree.
For Wyatt Six.
I have to agree, yeah. And I really hope there's something, even if it's something small, like there has to be something to keep furthering this story.
It would be a waste
and they can't just relegate it to just Raw. Mm-hmm. It has to have some impact on the PLEs. Because like when Bray Wyatt returned, it was at Extreme Rules.
Yes.
And you have to have that sort of thing at PLEs. You have to, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So our reactions will be on Sunday, which is I want to say the 7th. I think it's the 7th. Yeah, it must be because this is on the 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 7th. So it'll be on Sunday. It'll probably be late afternoon, early evening, hopefully, depending on how long this is. I'm hoping it's not a 4-hour 5-match fest. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So we'll look forward to that. As I say, anything does change between now and the event, we will update our predictions in the description down below. That includes any additions or changes to matches on SmackDown this coming Friday night.
Yep.
Take us away, Leanne.
Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you so much. Please like this video if you liked it. Subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. We are on socials. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and X. And our link tree's in the description below. Join in the conversation. You can talk to us on our socials or in the comments. Let us know your predictions for this match card. I haven't got anything specific. I don't know. That's about it. Yeah.
Do you think White Six are going to screw over Gable?
The answer is yes.
Oh, yeah.
Just write yes in the comments.
Don't.
It's all good. It's the wrong company. Yeah, that's about it.
Yep.
Thank you for watching, and until next time.
Let them in.